day before Christmas.
I think the snow's gonna melt, but I'm not sure by
That's what
tomorrow.
they're saying.
Yeah.
Welcome, I'm Serge. This is my brother Roman.
How you doing, everyone?
So we wanted to. I got inspired by Joe Rogan to do this podcast. I think what he does is just incredible work, and Roman put me on him, and it's one of those scenarios where I just can't. I can't say I've watched all of them. I don't know all of the people that he talks to, so I have to first see if that's my topic. But even the ones that I don't really know well or care for that subject,
I don't listen to all of them anymore. I'm much choosier nowadays.
he's got a lot.
Yeah, he releases them every couple of days, and when I first started watching it, I was just so hooked right away with his style. So I just watched every single one, or I listened to every single one, because I was just so impressed with what he's doing in today's culture of people not being honest. He was just so unapologetically honest, and because of his demeanor, that he can see that he's never malicious. And even if he says something that is honest that can potentially hurt someone, he has no problem with apologizing it, but also he'll say, well, it's still the truth. I'm sorry I made you feel bad, but it's still the truth. So anyway, so I definitely listened like just nonstop, but now I'm a lot choosier. I like to listen.
How does he get his? How does he get his? The people that come on his show, to be honest.
I think it's his aura at this point. And
That's probably what it is,
So
yeah.
at this point, it's his aura. In the beginning,
Step into this honest room. You can say there's no
Right,
judgment
right,
zone.
Yeah, yeah. And I've seen that other actors talk about this, where when they're filming a movie with just a couple of people in the room, then they're a lot more comfortable than they're on stage when there's a lot of people staring at you. So even though the movie is going to go out there for millions of people and the podcast is going out for millions of people, they're still more comfortable on the stage. And in the beginning, he had comedians, and comedians are infamous for being honest. That's almost half their job. Can these
They
guys,
almost look for that
yes.
weird honesty that could just push somebody's button, maybe.
It's not even just push each other button, although that is too. But it's more of what is it that I think everyone believes, or a lot of people believe, but just don't have the balls to say. And I'll say it, and people will do that nervous laughter, or maybe
This is that thing that I saw. What's it? A GIF, meme, whatever. It's like, what's one weird thing that makes you anxious? And the answer was standing in line at the grocery store while putting the receipt into my wallet, and the person behind me is just standing there patiently, and that's making me anxious.
Yeah.
I butchered how the phrasing goes. It's more funny, but why are people so anxious, standing in line, putting the receipt in, thinking this person's rushing them when they're really not?
Mm-hmm.
They were just that person standing there and patiently waiting, and all of a sudden,
yeah.
why do we do that to ourselves?
Yeah, and that is, you have to be really honest about yourself. It's very hard to clock that. So why am I really nervous here? A seemingly illogical thing. And you have to have an honest deep down on yourself. And comedians do that on themselves and others as well. But I think it needs to start with themselves. So I think that is where the honesty comes from. A lot of them were just that. And then slowly the culture built out. And then people who would normally not be honest, like politicians or business leaders. And
So
then,
what is a politician feeling when he's standing in that line? He doesn't give a fuck.
I don't know if they don't give a fuck. I do think there's part of politicians where they want to be liked, and almost at least a certain sense.
Maybe they'll fake being. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
As they put the
yeah,
receipt in.
yeah. They might not be feeling guilty, but they might think that they need to feel guilty. Like, oh,
I can only imagine the average politician when they descend down to a grocery store with the rest of them. Well, or just with the common folk, they're just like, they know that they're kind of beneath them.
well, okay. I'm not gonna. I really dislike.
I feel like that's built in.
I think the ones that make it all the way to the top, it's built into them. But I'm not going to completely rule out the people in the government. So like low-level politics.
Well, I'm saying average. On average.
What I'm saying, so average of the ones that make it. Okay. So the evolution of a politician to get to the top. There's a lot of people that want to make the world a better place, and they think politics is the way to do it, and they start out. And some of them, a lot of them, could do really good. It's the ones that are more ruthless and more interested. I want to be the one in power to change this thing, and then after a while, the change this thing goes away, or all they care about is being power. Those are the ones that I think will just rise to the top. But the low-level politicians, local politics, They potentially could be very good people. They're trying to help.
Was it you that said it, or was it in a movie? Something about somebody knows. Like, if I was in power, I know how to fix it. And it's like, well, you're the wrong person to be in power then.
Yeah.
Was that in a movie, or?
I don't know. It definitely something sounds like that. I believe it's possible that I got it for some, either if not verbatim, but that idea there that if you think you're the only one who can help, like you're the man for the job to change the world, you're not that man.
Is that
You're
just for
not that
politics or other things?
person.
That's pretty two different things.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what other profession can change the world. Maybe like engineers, but
Medical.
yeah, even that stuff. Yeah, I definitely don't think that, because even let's say medical. Go with your example, because this does happen. If you think you're the one who can find this vaccine, then it sounds like you're saying that other people shouldn't even try. Because I'm the one, but that's not how it works. It's somebody makes something and they give it to other, the scientific method. Other people have to test and recreate the result. They might find a flaw, and then if you feel that way, that I'm the only one, you don't want them to find a flaw, and that might actually put a worse product out there because you're putting that out there. Don't go against Pfizer scientists.
Certain level of that is important though, just for evolution, right?
What?
I know best.
Oh, I'm not saying that mentality is incorrect. I'm just saying that
You shouldn't be the one at the top.
yeah.
Yeah, the one at the top should is kind of like the orchestrator, like getting the right people together.
I mean, more often than not, those guys get there anyway, just because of the thing you said. Because they have that drive, they actually believe they're the only one. They're
They just
definitely
get there
not.
by
Yeah,
default.
they just get there by their drive. And they'll knock out the other people who think like that. So then all that's left is going to be the people that believe in that politics.
So then those guys typically are the most ruthless.
Those, I don't think you can be not ruthless and get at that level.
Yeah.
But ruthlessness is not always bad.
Yeah.
Ruthless means
I know, I said it in a
Yeah.
negative way. They're just
Sometimes you
relentless.
have to be
You
ruthless.
just keep trying,
Yeah.
keep going.
It's more of the ones that are bad that are the ones that think the number one thing is to stay in power, rather than, like, you can be ruthless and want to help people. Like, let's say this COVID thing was so horrible that people were dying so quickly, then you say, you know what, we have to make the ruthless decision is that, hey, that town is currently infected, put walls around it, and don't let anyone out, and those guys will
I
have to
can't
die.
help to think we should have done that. Not the walls, just. And even before, was it in China? They told everybody to stay home.
Yeah.
I can't help to think we should have just done that as soon as we. I'm not saying right from the beginning. Maybe month 2. As soon as we realized, hey, this thing is spreading, and there's movies that I can't help to think that we should have done that. If I was in charge, I would have pushed that subject until somebody brought me some just research that says, hey, if you do this, this is what's going to happen. It's going to be so bad. Because it's like, to me, it's like lives versus let's just lump everything else together. And
It's
You
very
have to think
difficult to think about it now. No, at the beginning,
I was thinking this from the
Yeah.
almost from the beginning.
you know what? If anything, I would be on your side, because if it's in the beginning, so the fact that we don't know anything means that should be ridiculously cautious.
Right.
Yeah. So hey guys, for 2 weeks, this thing is coming. We don't know.
I mean,
Just everyone locked down.
We're at that point. There was countries scrubbing streets.
Yeah.
What's that? Scrubbing like walls in the streets. And when I thought, all right, these guys are taking some serious precaution. We're over here just like wear a mask, keep your distance.
I think, and this is where, because the culture, other than the holdouts, like not the holdouts, I would say the rebels, the people that, like Joe Rogan saying that honesty is the way to go. The culture has gotten to the level that dishonesty is the standard. That people, if somebody were to come out and say, guys, we don't know which lockdown to be ready, people wouldn't believe that. People wouldn't listen to that. It was, oh no, you know something that I don't know. Like, you can't even say that. So really, the only way to get people to listen to you is to have that grandiose bravado. I know exactly what's going on here. This is what we need to do. And at the same time, of course, somebody's saying that. Somebody else is saying, I know exactly what's going on, and do the exact opposite of whatever he's doing. Mask,
Well, this
no
will
mask.
certainly be the toughest country to do it in, right? How are you going to tell Americans to stay or do anything?
That's one of
Who dropped the ball here? And I know people are going to be quick to blame Trump. You can't just blame one person, right?
No.
Who dropped the ball here?
There's a lot of ball drops.
Just everybody?
Yeah.
Just one of those scenarios?
I think by the time this thing has come along, And because of a big part of because of Trump, or also again, he's just the final. He's the next step.
He makes wrong decisions okay.
He makes agreeing with him or disagreeing with him okay for one side but not the other. So basically it's impossible for people to go all people to go on his side or to all people go against him. So if you're in the
Well, that's impossible just in general.
no, you can say something that everyone agrees. Don't kill babies. If all of a sudden Trump says don't kill babies, I wonder what the Democrats would say. Well, he really means just American
Probably
babies.
bring up abortion and
Yeah,
all those
yeah,
things.
just some.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, just some. Yeah, exactly. They'll
Yeah,
say, "Oh, he's
they'll
saying,
find something.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, and right away, you're really good at this shit. Right
Well-
away, Trump means that he's anti-abortion. That's really what he's saying. So they'll find some way to
Yeah.
disagree with him, no matter what he frickin' says. And the same level of, well, if somebody says something, the other end, something horrible, they'll say, well, really, he means this. Like,
He's certainly skilled at a lot of things. I don't know enough about politics to know if he was the wrong man for the job. I'm sure there's plenty of people that.
As
Here's
I
the
said,
thing,
I
isn't
think
it
all
like-
of them are the wrong man for the job.
Is it? Yeah.
Because they think they're the ones for the job.
But isn't it like 50-50? I mean,
What do you mean?
if half people like him, half the people don't, and that goes for pretty much all presidents. I mean, I'm sure there's been.
That wasn't always the case. We've had presidents that.
Yeah, I don't know much about it.
FDR, the other Roosevelt. He was very much.
But I feel like as time goes on, and I don't even think it has anything to do with the president. I think it's like for every one person that's saying I vote for John, there's going to be somebody else saying fuck that. I want to vote for Steve just because he's voting for John.
And I think what you're missing the underlying assumption here, or I'm sure it's the fact that we have a two-party system.
Yeah.
So if you say that there's only two people that have a decent amount of power, then after a while you're only going to get I either hate or love because it's binary.
Well, I don't think they're hating the presidents or the candidates. I think there's got to be an element where all these guys are voting for that guy, and I just want to disagree with them because that's what people do. So I'm going to vote for the other one, and they don't really know what the other one is.
Say the other one means that there must only two.
Well, if
there's four, then you had no choice but to, well, okay, fine, I hate this guy, but which one are you going to go? Okay, then let me.
I agree there needs to be more than two, but wouldn't it kind of just even out? Everybody, if there was five, everybody gets 20% of the votes or so.
You can't say I'm voting for the other one if there's more than two. So even if you actually hate someone, you can't say I'm voting for the other one.
Right, right.
So that option is taken away. Where right now in a binary world, I have two ways to convince you to vote for me. Either I say I'm awesome, or I say the other guy
So you're
sucks.
saying if there was five at the top,
Yes.
it wouldn't be 2020, 2020.
No, it would not be.
It would be.
Yeah.
Then that's what it needs to be.
Yeah.
I've always thought it's weird we have one.
You need two.
Like just one president.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
wait. Now you're saying something different. Now you're saying it's not just you have five choices to choose from. You shouldn't even just say one.
Yes, I did
There's
switch
20,
gears.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
20 people running, and the top five get
Yeah.
the job.
I think it's weird. But I've always, and again, I don't get into politics. I don't really read the news much, but I always thought it was weird we have one president. It's just kind of odd.
It seems like the natural order of things. It seems
It all ends up at some
humans
sort of a top.
have a very both useful and sometimes gets in the way instinct to symbolize phenomena. So if you have a society and is being governed, the simplest way to govern it is with a single person. So then humans would like to set up that system. And also add to the fact that the ones that do get to the top think that they're the ones for the job. They think the other ones are wrong, and they'll knock them out either with violence back in the day, or currently not in America, with other undeveloped countries, or with politically they'll knock them out.
So what does a president think of? Any president think of their vice president? Like you're here just for show?
I think.
I can't imagine they found two people whose thoughts just align.
All right. Well, America's unique. And I'm sure there's some other Western countries that also have this, but because it is now built into this culture, which is an unbelievable thing when you think about it, but Americans don't. The fact that people willingly give up power after 8 years at most, that is very unique. That has never been done in any other society, as far as I know.
What do they get killed or?
Yeah, they stay till they die, or or like they're just so old, they lose capacity. So we got Putin over there. So he has his right hand man was Medvedev, but really he wasn't his right hand man. So Putin ran whatever 8 years with him. Then he put Medvedev in there, and said you're in charge, but really he's not. And then he went back in there just to skirt the law.
How long is he in there for now?
How long has Putin been in there?
No, how long? Like when's his term end?
I think he changed the law now that.
Like like in China?
Yeah, I think he changes it now. He can do it, or he keeps basically said if anyone ever asks them, "Are you here for life?" he'll say no, I'm here till my next term, and then when the next term comes along, then he'll say, well, one more term maybe. So I don't think he's openly saying I'm here for life like the Chinese guy, but he's everyone kind of knows. So this is where I think America is very unique. So that means potentially the president could look at the vice president as someone who will eventually replace them. But even then, I don't think they think that far. They think when they're picking vice president, who do I pick to make me win? That's what they're thinking. Not who
That's
do
it.
Yeah.
Whose thoughts align?
They're not thinking that. They're thinking, who do I pick to make me win? They could just, if they for some reason think the other person's going to help them win, but they abhor them, they would still pick them.
If you say that to like a Martian, like, so how does your political system work? How do you pick the vice president?
Yeah.
And just pick the guy that's going to make me win. They're going to look at you as a devil. If they're a civilized colony, they're going to look at you like, wow, so not somebody that shares your beliefs or will help you get to your goals. It's simply just to make you win. So
I
you
don't
really
think you
do
need
think
to look at a Martian that way. I think you can say like a tribe from 10,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago. Because before we got globalized and before the civilization got built to the level, a tribe had a natural structure and there was a leader, but it would be a lot loose of a turn. It's usually some older person.
Yeah, I was thinking usually some like wise guy.
Yeah, some wise guys in there, and he could had helper. I don't know. It's possible it was a woman. It depends on the level of agriculture. Like, can you accumulate wealth? But I'm sure it was mostly men. But they would have people help them. But it would be very kind of a loose leader. Like, you don't just blindly do whatever this person says.
Yeah.
People, they're still
like a consultant.
Yeah. So I'll put this example. I was in fraternity. I was the president of my fraternity. I was definitely not a dictator or anything. We would have weekly house meetings. I would be openly challenged on some ideas that I wanted to do. It was rarely malicious. We would discuss. And so sometimes if I want something, but I see that there's a lot of resistance, like, I don't think I ever said, no, like, we have that. It's possible, but I feel like more often than not, if I'm really going to, all right, guys, let's just vote. I would just say that. Mm-hmm. And because everyone was in the room, I can do that very easily. And then if we ever know each other, all right, let's just vote. Fine. Okay. We'll do it this way.
But you would be selective when you say that.
I would be, yeah. So definitely I have control because, yeah, I could do that. Yeah. Some people could say that, let's vote, but I could just say no. Definitely I was in a leading position, but it was nowhere close to a dictator position. And you can't just openly impose your will to people with whom you sleep one door from. Whereas president could impose their will, executive order, because I never have to look at these people. Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, so like the tribe and the fraternity scenario, there's not that many people there compared to the country.
Yeah.
So maybe that system just doesn't work.
I definitely think the system that's why we have representatives as opposed to direct democracy. So they represent us. So they speak for us. Of course, yeah, the system kind of breaks down.
People believe that?
People believe what?
That they actually represent them.
And probably not anymore. But that's what it was.
Probably 50-50, right?
I don't know. I feel like there's, I don't know the full numbers, but the trust in politicians are near all-time lows.
And it's only going to keep getting worse.
I don't know. There was a really bad time around Nixon, Watergate, and Vietnam. So there was a big scandal when a secret report from the CIA came out to the public that basically said that we don't have a chance to win this war, but we need to stay in this war for other reasons, something like that. And this came out here saying that you're sending Americans lives and money over there. And it was
confirmed this is real?
Confirmed, yeah. And around that time, and then also Watergate, where Nixon was implicated in political schemings. So around that time, there's huge distrust of So I don't know if now is lower.
You wouldn't even. I mean, you could work in those departments. You wouldn't even know if that's going on because you don't know the underlying reasons why they're making these decisions, right?
You mean just the regular government workers?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I mean, they do a pretty good job. They do a pretty good job separating. Like, let's say there's one topic, but it's broken up into 7, right? This department's working on a piece of it, and you'd really never know what the whole. I would think they would just spread it out, and you really don't know why we're doing these things. Like, what's the financial gain for this war? What's the military gain for this war?
Oh,
What's
yeah.
the whatever?
No,
and they
it's very
spread it out,
complicated.
so you wouldn't even know.
Yeah, you wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
And I mean, and the ones that I would say are the most invested is the soldiers. They definitely don't know. They're
Yeah.
going after attack this position, and they're, I would say, literally the most invested in this world. They have everything to risk.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely. This as the size of an organization grows, that stuff can't work. But then the seedier elements, just because of human nature, is built in, and this is where things like you have to leave after 8 years. That's an amazing thing that America has done. Amazing thing. It stops so much bullshit from happening. Like, people don't try to wiggle their way to stay in there, because people have said, as proven over and over again, once you get into power, what do you care about? Staying in power. That's it. Whatever reasons that were driving you to get to power, I want a revolution because I want to help whatever, they all fall away when it's time for you to lose the power. No, actually, like, I'll find some reasons to say why I should stay in power. Guys, I think I need to stay another year to do this. I think I need to da-da-da-da-da. And sooner or later, it's like, all right, I just need to stay until I die, and then you guys deal with the fallout.
It's horrible. That sounds horrible.
Yeah. They had, I feel like in Greece, like Sparta time, there was I'm trying to remember. There was 2 leaders. There was a military leader and a political leader. Kind of want to look it up right now. And they would either switch or they would say, like, you have to leave after a while. So they were very heavily like democracy, and they were like, they had the foresight of controlling power, keeping powers in check. So they had the foresight that, hey guys, we got to be careful. We don't want a dictator in here, because they're the world's first democracy. But of course, they also had like thousands of slaves. So it's really,
Why not set up a system just like everybody else is measured on performance, right?
hard.
Is it too hard?
You can't even measure performance of a teacher.
Well, you can have some guidelines.
You can have some guidelines that can easily get around, and here's how I can tell you easily get around. It has out of professions go, it has one of the lowest, by a significant margin, if not the lowest, firing rates. So in a private company, people will fire you like it's but in teachers, whatever guidelines they set up, they'll just circle around them because it's so hard. And the same thing with politics. Your job, you don't know how well you did, potentially never, or maybe 20 years from now.
Yeah.
So then how are you going to set up guidelines to do that? We're not equipped for that.
Yeah.
Unless you create some sort of a computer system.
Give them the truth serum.
Yeah, the old truth serum.
What if there's no side effects? Horrible ones. You should give them the truth serum.
Well, I don't even know if it's 100% works.
They could make one.
Yeah, just dedicate on that.
I think if you're going to be in charge of everybody else,
Yeah.
you got to be accountable. I mean, I wish I knew more presidents to know some good and bad that they did, so I don't have to keep using Trump as an example. I'm not political basically at all, but ever since Trump started running for office, I definitely paid attention because he's a marketing genius, and there's no doubt about that.
Just like just a wreck on a highway. You just have to.
I have to look at it, right? But if you're gonna get there, I feel like you need to have some accountability. And
I'm not saying you shouldn't. I just, any system you can come up with, they'll shirk it in a
give
year.
them the truth serum.
Yeah, I don't know if that exists. Yeah. So yeah, when you go under oath, you're really going under oath. That's actually really good. So basically, you have to have a court order. It will be very difficult to do. But if you have this with this technology, which I don't think we do, but
Lie
let's say you
detector
invented it,
tests, I don't know.
they're not good. It's very hard.
There's some pros in the CIA. They'll get the truth out of them.
Here's the thing about the truth. again, I have to go back to human evolution. It's not designed for truth. It is designed for getting your way. So the brain and how it works to function in a society, it is optimized not to tell the truth. It is optimized to get what you want. So even the way that we think about truth is not not natural. What is the truth? And
What do you, like, give an example of this?
give an example. Just the way that people lie to themselves. Like they honestly believe that. Here's an example. Humans on average think that they are about 25% smarter, more physically able, more good looking than they actually are. So they've done on these tests where you rate yourself on comparison to whatever the test, or how much do you think you can lift, some sort of a physical strength that you're not used to doing.
Yeah, the looking part, I don't know how you would.
So they give you let's say 20 pictures of faces, and your face is one of them, and they'll say order them from least attractive to most attractive, that kind of thing, and then they'll give the same list to other people.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and they'll just rate them lower. And
25% is a big number.
Yeah, it's a big number. So it's evolutionarily advantageous.
You said average, right? So there's people walking around at 50%,
Yeah,
40%.
yeah, definitely. And there's definitely people like neurosis who they think that they're always ugly. Anorexic people, they think they're fat. Yeah. So yeah, of course there's. But on average, this isn't an accident, and it's not a flaw. That is by design. You're better off if you think you are smarter than you actually are, because then you exude confidence, and then you get people to trust you. So this is by design. So humans are now in a position, and this is where I think I've said before, like, are you on autopilot, or are you going again? So we're the first time in history we're thinking that we can think about how we work, and then decide, is this good for all of us? Like, I can really think about how humans work and how I actually work, and think, do I want to change it, or is this good?
It's tough to do.
It's very tough to do.
So what? Most people probably just don't even do it.
Most people, I doubt, would even consider it at that level.
They probably consider it, but they probably stop 10 minutes later.
Yeah. Or
Once
maybe
they
they'll forget.
because the brain's smart, even in a dumb person, and they're going to realize what is needed to be. What do I really need to do to make this change? And it's like, fuck that, I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
I'm not waking up at 5.
Yeah, you'll forget. Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not waking up at 5. I'm not going to read a book every whatever. I'm not doing any of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I just go right back to it.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. Because remember, we talked about this before, where 95% of your decisions are subconscious.
That's wild.
Yeah. So that means whatever it is you're doing, we're animals.
Yeah.
You have instincts. Yeah. It'll take forever if you had to process, should I touch this pen? Should I drink this coffee? No, I'm just, just instinct. Just picking it up. I'm a little thirsty somewhere, and that guides my arm.
Is that what COVID came from? Is animals? Isn't that what they're saying? Monkeys or something?
Bats or pangolins or something like that.
Some animal, right?
It is still in contention. I've heard some people that I trust who are saying that this has a lot of signs of being artificial. So the things that naturally happen through evolution take a certain amount of time. This thing did very, very quickly. So whatever the transition steps, it seems like it was guided along.
Wait a minute, like humans?
Yeah. Meaning like in intelligent design. So whatever the procedure was that the virus usually goes through to get to this, where it jumps from species or something like that, it was just expedited in this case. I've also heard many people saying that is bullshit. That it was just luck of the draw, intermingling. So the place where this happened, Wuhan, is infamous for their open wildlife markets. So this is where they bring in animals that do not normally live together, and they bring them all to the same place so they eat these wild animals. And when you expedite that mixing and matching, then random crap can mutate. So that is what they're saying is the likely reason.
Crazy there's a lot of movies out there, so naturally sometimes it's going to happen. But how accurate the movie Outbreak, and then I didn't see the other one with Matt Damon.
think that's more accurate.
The Matt Damon one?
Yeah. It's called
Contagion.
Contagion. Yeah, with
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg. Yeah.
You saw it, it's good.
I did see it. It's.
What's more accurate about that one?
I think the virus killed about 10% of the people.
That's a pretty big number.
It is a big number, but that's far more accurate than 100% of the people in.
Oh, that it went in contact with.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Like nobody was immune to it.
No one was immune to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not how it works. Other people are immune to it.
Yeah.
10%. So when the Black Plague was.
In Outbreak, I mean, this thing was designed in the military, right? Like they made sure this thing kills.
No, they found it in the wild, and
That's
said
right.
This could be weaponized.
That's right.
And
They didn't make any additions to it or changes.
No, they
Okay.
basically, when they found it, they said, "Oh, this is to be an amazing biological weapon. So let me just kill everyone who
Yeah.
has it, and then we'll
They
be
dropped
the
the
only
nuke.
ones." Yeah, and then they developed an antidote for it or a vaccine for it, whatever it was. But then, by the time they gave that to people, it mutated in the wild, and then their vaccine no longer worked.
Yeah.
Which sounds reasonable. So in terms of biological weapons, which I know very, very little about, but what I know about viruses is that they can mutate, and they're very, very complicated. This is, compared to a nuclear bomb, a biological weapon would be far more complex. Nuclear bomb,
Sure.
just
Yeah.
so yeah.
This
who the hell
COVID
knows?
thing kind of has that feel to it, though. It's
That's
not.
what?
It's not wiping out a bunch of people. It's just controlling them, right? You don't. The COVID.
What do you mean by controlling them?
Well, you can tell people to stay home. Don't go there. Don't go here.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you're saying
Yeah.
that if somebody actually did create it, their intent is not
Yeah,
to kill
it's not
people.
to kill people.
It's to shatter your economy.
Yeah.
But I really, really don't.
I'm not saying that's the
Yeah.
case. I'll put that percentage at 5.
Okay. I will not rule out the fact that this was created by the Chinese government. I'm not going to rule that out right now. What I will rule out is that they did this by intent. That they released it on intent.
Who's they though?
The Chinese government. This hurt them potentially more
Yeah.
because I don't see how you can targetedly hurt a country with a biological weapon, because it'll just spread. And not only does it kill people, it also just shatters people's economy.
Yeah.
So I really, really don't think
5%.
I'm not gonna-
Maybe the reason they did it, we don't even know yet, right? Like
Yeah,
you said,
exactly.
maybe it's
If
10
somebody
years
goes, you know what this is, and they'll go, oh yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah,
Next
sure.
thing you know, they're selling
Yeah, sure.
something.
They didn't even come up with a vaccine. Our guys did, or it was Pfizer and some British company. So I don't. Maybe I'm a skeptic by nature, and I usually like to think. To me, it's far more obvious that this thing just got out and just hurt everyone. I don't see an obvious reason of why they would do this, because they can't control it.
Yeah.
This isn't like a bomb. You have no idea what it would do. You take this out there, what if it somehow mutates and then it actually wrecks people who like rice? I have no idea. It's just so
Yeah.
impossible to predict.
It's definitely gonna. We haven't even seen what the changes are yet, right?
No.
We have no idea what's gonna happen.
I
Like, what does the next 5 years look like? What does the next 10 years look like?
don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. There was made me think of this Asimov book that I read. So Isaac Asimov, one of my favorite authors, and so he writes books that are very far in the future. And so the humans go all around galaxy. Kind of reminds me of like where first you spread from Africa and you go all these, and then they isolate and they start to develop their own languages, their own races and cultures or whatever. So now they spread across the galaxy. And on Earth, people live in megacities, so just completely domed off, and that's how they live in megacities. But other planets, they live some like other ways. And the other extreme of that is in this other planet, they live like a single person per 100 acres or whatever, like 100 square miles, with just a shitload of robots taking care of them, and that's how they live.
Not even a family.
Not even a family. They, I think, clone themselves to reproduce. So they talk to other humans through, this made me think, like holograms, so like very advanced Zoom calls. And that is how, but they just live by themselves, and they're very, very separated, and if they want to talk to someone, they'll just...
And they like it.
Yeah. So just interesting how in this galaxy, both seemed very possible outcomes. And there's other people that live,
The moral of the story is separate.
Moral of the story is that I don't know how people are going to go. It could be like mega cities were a very popular theory even 10 years ago. Everyone.
So what does that mean? You can't come in?
No, it's just everyone. No one lives rurally anymore. People just live in big cities. It's like you don't have suburbs, you don't have rural, you just have cities. And
Wow.
people thought that's what everyone's going to do. Just
Yeah.
eventually, if everyone just moves to cities, because cities have more money, cities have better infrastructure, all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't see that happening anytime soon, though.
Not anymore, because now what the COVID revealed is that it's very possible to live rurally with the information technology that we have
Yeah.
and do well. There's a lot of people that are doing poorly right now, but there's a very nice minority that are doing very well right now. They're just set up for it.
To live remotely.
Yeah, we're like that. We're set up for this. Our jobs do not really require us to go out.
Well, I was even thinking, the guy I know, he can live off the grid, right? He's got solar panels, geothermal, water heating. I mean, I went down in his basement. He built this house. It's an incredible house. I went down in the basement. There's battery storage. I mean, he could live in the dark, right? No solar being
There is something
created.
very like romantic about that. Like it's pulling people in that direction. I've heard of soldiers when they go fight in like Iraq and they live in like little villages, and a lot of them just like staying there, even though that their life is so much more in danger there. They enjoy that. So if you just live in very, very small groups, the way that we evolved to live for hundreds of thousands of years,
Yeah.
only recently did we go to this. There's something like you leave the city, you just feel better. Just a couple of people.
I'm
around
that
you.
person, I'd say.
So
I definitely that person. I mean, one of my favorite trips in New York City is we took the train in, which was really the main reason why I wanted to go. I like the train ride. Took the train in, hopped off. There was a Brazilian parade going on. We had some street food, which I like. Hop back on the train. We're back in.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, but I certainly wouldn't want to live in the apartment where that parade was going on and all day listening to that. I wouldn't want to do it.
there's people that do like that, genuinely enjoy it. I don't know if they actually enjoy it or they're just
It's going to be the second one.
fool themselves into enjoying it. I mean, I
think they're just okay with it.
Yeah.
Fire truck going by every 10 minutes. Yeah.
I guess I definitely wouldn't have lived there if it wasn't for the money I would make to be me in the city. So I guess there's that. So and
That'd be interesting if the pay scale is the same across the board.
Yeah, yeah.
People are moving out, right?
yeah, it's got 100%.
Why would you want to stay?
Why would you want to stay?
And it's not. And we hear this often. Oh, I've lived here for 5 years, but I've never been to that comedy center
Yeah,
or
yeah.
that museum or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like it's right there. Everybody knows about it. I traveled here to go there. You've never been there. It's like no. Well, what do you do? Well, I just like having pizza at 4 in the morning because there's options.
If I had to choose, I would say that cities are on their way out. Just wait till autonomous vehicles start taking over.
Makes the commute easier.
That means it's not, like you don't have to go. Like you can be anywhere and have your shit delivered to you. Just a little drone flies in, drops you your milk, and
Drone flies in. You're
Yeah.
working from home.
yeah.
There's a lot of people that are complaining about. Well, the fact that the kids are at home, that's going to change, right? Kids are just going to go back to say, Alistair.
I heard the word pizza,
That's right.
and I was playing a pizza game on Roblox,
It's a good.
and I completed one file. I'm starting my second file,
Okay.
and
And
Alright.
we're live.
Heard the word pizza.
Yeah, got interrupted by some kids.
I think it's good that we started early.
Yeah.
I think something that before having kids, and I think that I properly warned you about the effects, but I don't think anyone warned me. It's like a lie that everyone says. Oh, it's going to be like this. I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but it's definitely all encompassing.
There's a new level of horrible, and there's a new level of fun.
It's whatever. It's just time consuming. It's just very, very time consuming. So for about 5 years of a kid's life, So
Yeah.
it's very hard to do. So right now, as we were talking before, like I'm starting to get some of my hobbies back. I'm exercising regularly.
And now you
We're
have some
playing.
people. Now they
Now
can
we
join
can
you.
talk. Yeah, we can watch movies every once in a while. I don't miss going to theaters, which is actually ridiculous. There's two things I
I'm
was
surprised that's still around.
What, theaters?
Yeah, that's got to be on its way out. You can't pack that many people indoors anymore. Not for a while, at least.
Oh, just generally speaking, COVID. I thought you meant just humans don't like to get together. They do.
No,
Concerts, the arenas.
No,
you know,
that's yeah. But yeah, after COVID, I can't imagine they're going to be packing the people into the
I
theaters.
thought drive-through theaters will come back.
Drive-through might come back.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
So what I was saying is that I used to love theaters, just love it. That was you remember that was our thing, and
Movie hopped all the time.
yeah, and
Get at me.
and going to restaurants. NT and I would go out so many restaurants. That's one of my
I
favorite
wasn't
things to do.
big on going.
Yeah.
I like the home cook.
I know you do, but I did. I do not even. So now that I'm getting some time back, now the kids are getting older, I do not have the urge to go back. I like to watch movies very much, just as much as I did before, but I like to watch them at home. I love food, I think, just as much, and I'll do takeout,
Yeah.
but I don't have that pull to go to restaurants.
Yeah.
I don't know
Drive
why.
over there, sit for 15 minutes, wait for the food. Yeah.
We should do it one more time. Just try it again. Like,
Well, going out.
drop the kids off, and no, just to do the restaurant.
Oh, do the restaurant? I mean, hey, once in a while is sure you go try a place you haven't tried in a
Yeah.
while. Yeah, because now you basically go out to eat what this town and maybe the next town over.
Mhm.
But there's plenty of restaurants that are pretty well known in the state that boom, you got to drive a little bit.
This is the time of the year that I usually do that. Remember, we
Yeah, that Christmas present.
had
for
a couple
ourselves.
of years in a row
Yeah.
that we did that, and then also
Yeah.
this is also the time of year when I go to the movies
Yeah.
for a couple of years in a row. Star Wars and things like that, like a big movie around the time.
Yeah.
But I don't miss it. I don't know why.
I think that's it for today.
You know,
Wrap it up. Tune in next time.
tune in next time. I'm going to tune in myself. Forget the other people.
I wonder if Rogan listens to his own stuff. He has so many, he probably can't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
might
there's no
bring-
way.
It's possible he brings up. So he has repeat guests at this point. Just
Yeah.
again, he has so many of them.
Yeah.
And if he likes someone, so he might re-listen to like before they
Yeah.
come. Oh, there's just a couple of parts of it.
He does, yeah. There's no way he can listen to all of them, right?
Yeah,
There's no
he
way.
does a lot of different things. He's a
Right.
comedian. He's
Yeah.
the MMA broadcaster. And
My guess is he walks into that studio, sits down, they talk, and he gets out, and the guy that's there takes. Well, yeah. I mean, anyway, I was watching one of his things, and it looks like the guy who's behind the camera, he's controlling which there's 3 cameras. There's one,
yeah.
but they're all running at the same time, so it's like
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
like a
He just
switch. Boom,
switches
boom,
the
boom,
feed.
boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big technology part of it. I wonder. I'm sure the other guy he keeps complimenting, the young Jamie. I'm sure he's very well versed on it. It's a whole thing.
Yeah,
People have careers of it. All right, it's good.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
out.
Very okay. Bye everyone.